break, got me make some paper, yeah.
Guys, in this video I'll be showing you guys how to make Conker's Hockey, and this is a One Piece concept and I made this for you guys. So if you guys like the video, like, subscribe, and comment, and I'm gonna show you guys how to make this video. So let's get right into it. So the first thing that we're going to be doing here, we're going to be getting our two effects that we'll be using. If you want to get these effects already, if you join the Discord and go to video downloads, the whole Roblox studio will be ready for you, so you don't have to worry about like getting your own effects, and all the effects will already be ready for you. And we have our effects folder inside Replicator Storage that will parent to the lighting service, so we can get this little nice effect. And I will show you right now how it will be done. If I just parent to the lighting, we get this effect. So remember, this game will be in Roblox Studio, so you can get all the effects already. And we're gonna make an events folder, and we're gonna make our remote event inside of there, and we're gonna name it Get Conk Hockey. And that's basically all like the minimum stuff that we're gonna do, and all like the stuff that's outside of the script. So let's get right into it. So first thing we're gonna do here, we're gonna make a script, and we're gonna put it inside our starter character scripts. Then what we're gonna do here, we're gonna get Replicator Storage, user input service, and we're gonna get the player. Then we're gonna run the input began function. Then we're gonna input and is typing. Now, if the player is typing and they press the keyboard on E, then this will return end. So they cannot use E while they're typing. And then if they press E, we're gonna fire the remote event, so we fire to the server. Okay, now going on to our server script, where we're gonna be firing remote event and all, where most of like the complex stuff, you could say, comes in. So we're gonna get run service. So basically on this part, we're gonna be getting all our services. So run service, Replicator Storage, collection service, and tween service. And we're gonna have debounce as a table. We're gonna have debounce 2 and player, and they're both gonna be equal to nil. We're gonna have add player and trash table, both be tables, and we're gonna have duration, cooldown, and end time. And this is the three most important variables, because this will be like whatever you change this to will affect the code. So the end time here will be how long the tween is gonna be for like the Conker's Hockey red aura around you. So the little red ball that appears, and if the player is like in that area, that's how long it's gonna take for it to load up. And then we're gonna have our cooldown and duration, pretty simple. Then we're gonna make a function called get speed, and this get speed function is gonna help us change the player's walk speed and jump power, and if they're anchored or not. And if we don't get no values for these three last values here, we're just gonna set it to 16, 50, and false. So basically just resetting it back to normal. And now we're gonna do a replicator service event. Now we're gonna do our on server event, and then we're gonna fire the player. Now we're gonna do if the player has the tag. So we're gonna do if the character has a tag done effect, then we're gonna return end. This is gonna show that they're currently being hit by the move. And now we're gonna do if debounce play, then return end. And now if debounce 2 play, then return end. We could put this in the same line, but just to be safe, we wanna keep it optimized. We're gonna put in 2 different lines. Then we're gonna set player, our player variable, equal to the actual player. Then we're gonna do debounce player equals to game.replicator storage.effects.conk hockey clone. So basically, if we go to our effects folder here and we go to our Conk Hockey, it's gonna clone a little red aura, big circle thing. And we're gonna clone it. And when we save this to debounce player, this is basically the same thing as saying if debounce player, then return end. So since we have something equal to debounce player, if we try to run through this again, it will not run. So this is basically saying debounce player equals true, if that kind of helps you out. Then we're gonna do debounce player.parent, and remember, debounce player.parent is basically just the Conk Hockey, just the cloned Conk Hockey that we have here. And then we're gonna parent to the workspace, and then we're gonna position this Conk Hockey to the player's head position. And then we're gonna create this tween, and then we're gonna tween the debounce player, basically being the Conk Hockey, the big red aura thing. And we're gonna tween it using the duration. We're gonna tween it only using the duration. So whatever the duration is, that'll be 1.7. And we're gonna change the size to 150 by the X, Y, and Z, and we're just gonna play the tween. Okay, now this is where stuff gets a little bit more complex. I will understand for most of you people, but if you're experienced at coding, it really won't be too hard for you. So let's get right into it. So we're gonna do a run service, then we're gonna do heartbeat, and then we're gonna connect the function. We're not gonna run anything inside the function. Then we're gonna do if not debounce play, then we're gonna return end. So this is gonna be equal to false. Then we're gonna do spin plus 5 plus equals 5. So our spin variable that's equal to 0 is gonna be we're gonna add 5 to it. Then we're gonna do our new param is gonna be equal to overlap params.new, and basically this overlap params.new is basically our new region 3, basically something like that. So if you want to read more about it, I'll put the link to the description. But basically it's the same thing as like the raycast params.new and all that. So we're gonna have the same filter descendants type, and we're gonna put the character inside so it doesn't hit the character. We're gonna have the filter type blacklist so it doesn't affect our character. We're gonna have the max parts equal to 0. And when we put max parts equal to 0, it's basically the same thing as math.huge, so basically infinite. And then we're gonna change the orientation. So basically that's what we're gonna be doing here. We're gonna be spinning the our Conqueror's hockey, little red ball, in like different positions. So if we're adding 5 to spin, we're gonna add 5, 10, 15, 20. And now we're gonna change the Z-axis to -5, -10, -15. It's gonna keep spinning over and over again. Since this is a heartbeat, it's gonna keep this is gonna keep changing and changing and changing. We keep adding 5, so it's gonna keep. So this is how we spin it around in this one simple line. So now what we're gonna do here, we're gonna loop through our now we're gonna loop through the conch hockey. So debounce play, we're gonna loop through the our conch hockey, and then we're gonna put our parameters inside of here. So our new params, where we make sure the character doesn't get hit, and how we can make sure we loop through infinite amount of parts. And when we do that, we're gonna check if it's a humanoid, and we're gonna check if the character is not in that table. And now if the character is not in the table, then we're gonna add them to the add players table. So you can name the table add characters, but I just name it add players because it's simple to understand either way. So now we're gonna do another for IV loop, and now we're gonna loop through the add players table. And now we're gonna do if the player has the tag, so if the character has the done effect tag, then we're gonna continue end. So it's gonna just run back on the top. It's gonna continue the loop until they find this done effect thing, I guess. So then we're gonna do if debounce 2, then return end. And now we're gonna do if the value 2 equals the player.character or not value 2 find for child human root part, then continue end. So basically if we're just making sure that we're not in the table. That's what this line basically means. And now we're gonna get our animation. Basically you can make whatever animation you want. This animation is gonna affect the person that's getting hit by the Conqueror's hockey. So now we're gonna do if instance.new, and we're gonna get the animation. We're gonna put a little semicolons here so we know that it's separated. Now we're gonna do animation.animation ID, and then we're gonna put our animation ID number here with the RBX asset ID. And now we're gonna do start animation. It's gonna be equal to the value.humanoid load animation. Then we're gonna load the animation that we currently made. Then we're gonna do local head effect, and this head effect is gonna be equal to it's basically gonna be equal to our little red ore thing that's going to be on top of the player's head when they get hit by Conqueror's hockey. And then we're going to clone it as well. And then this is something new that most people really don't know how to use, but I'll show you how it's used. So basically anything that's being removed from this head effects part is going to be, we're going to add it to this trash table. So we know that if we remove, let's say if we remove this whole attachment, it's going to give us this whole attachment and its descendants, and then we're going to just add it to the table. It's super simple, not too complex. And then we're gonna do table.insert, and then we're gonna add the start animation to the add players table. Then we're gonna do head effect hockey attach.parent, and we're basically gonna attach this little head effect to the character's head. And then we're gonna give them the tag done effect, so now the character now has a tag. Now we're gonna do get speed, and then we're gonna enter the character, their walk speed, their jump power, and if their human root part is going to be anchored. And then we're going to play the animation. And now we're going to do if game.players get player from character value 2, then we're going to fire this fire client to the player. So that means if it hits a dummy or like an NPC, then this won't fire. Then it's just going to continue. But if it's actually a player, then we're going to fire this client. Then we're going to fire to the client side. So we can basically make so we can make our effects so where the player is like they're not stunned, but like they get this this screen shake effect and some more and we compare this stuff to their lighting, and we make sure we can make their screen look gray. And now we're gonna do task.delay, and then we're gonna do the duration, so whatever the duration is. Function, then we're gonna do if debounce, then return end. So if this is true, we're gonna stop here. Then we're gonna set it equal to true. Now we're gonna make our tween. This tween is basically gonna make this little red hockey conkers thing just disappear, so it looks kind of nice. So we're gonna do TS create debounce player, so basically the little red circle big thing. Then we're gonna do tweeninfo.new. Then we're gonna put the end time. Remember, the end time was the end of our variable, was the end near our duration and cooldown variable. And then we're gonna, this is 1 for us because our end time variable is 1. I'll just show you guys up here. And then we're gonna do transparency equals 1. So we're basically gonna make the transparency, make the parts transparency all the way to 1 so we can't see it no more. And then we're gonna play the tween. Then we're gonna loop through the trash table. So basically the trash table has like all the head parts, like everything else removed from the table because we added it to the trash table from the descendants. And then we're gonna destroy everything that's inside the table, and we're gonna set the trash table index equal to 0, so we make sure that it's actually removed properly. And what we're gonna do here, we're gonna loop through the add players table. And now what we're gonna do, if we find the humanoid inside of the table, then we're gonna check if they have this done effect tag, and then if they do have this done effect tag, we're gonna remove this tag from them. And then we're gonna do get value. We're gonna get speed, and we're gonna run the value through here, and this value is basically equal to the character. And since we only run the character through this get speed function, it's gonna reset the character's it's gonna reset the character's walk speed, jump power, and it's gonna set their anchored the humanoid parts anchored property to false. And then we're gonna do so since we only have the animation left inside the table, because if we don't find a humanoid, then we're just gonna stop the animation. And then we're gonna do add players index equals 0. So every time this runs past, we're just gonna make the everything inside the table equal to 0. And then we're gonna wait the cooldown. Then we're gonna do tween to destroy. Then we're gonna do debounce player, and then we're gonna do destroy. And then we're gonna do debounce player equals 0. Basically, we're gonna do debounce 2 player equals false. So basically, just resetting everything back to normal so we can run this again and again. We fire to the client. What we're gonna be doing here, we're gonna be getting this local effects. We're gonna make our variable called local effects. And it's basically gonna clone the effects table. And when we do this, we're gonna loop through the effects table. We're gonna get the children inside this effects table, and we're gonna make sure that everything inside this table, if it's a part, we don't want the part, and we don't want no mesh parts. So everything else that's inside this table is going to be like these lighting properties. So basically, we're gonna parent all this lighting properties to the player's lighting service. So game.lighting, basically super simple like that. And then we're gonna do local start time equals os.clock. And we're gonna do while start time minus os.clock is greater than or equal to the negative duration due. So basically this line right here is basically counting down in seconds. So it's gonna go -1, -2, -3. And when this hits the negative duration, so basically let's say this is 3, we're gonna change this 3 to -3. Then we're gonna change the players. Then we're basically gonna be changing the player's screen so it's shaking, so it looks nice. And basically you can change to whatever you want. I'll put it to -150 so it has more of like a violent shake, and I divided it by 100. But you can put it all to 100 so it has like a decent shake, not too big. And then what we're gonna be doing here, we're gonna be and don't forget to actually task our weight. And then we're gonna set the player's camera offset back to 000. So set it back to the normal offset so that the camera doesn't like stay in like one position, and we wanted it just to be defaulted back to the regular position. And now what we're going to be doing here, we're going to be looping through the lighting service, but you don't have to have this one line here. You can remove this if you want to, but I just put it there just to make sure that it's optimized and everything looks fine. So basically we're going to check if the whatever we get from the lighting table is an instance, then we're going to destroy it. So basically we're going to be destroying all this that's parented to the lighting. So basically that's how you fire it to the client. And hopefully you guys understand what I did here. It's not really nothing too hard, it's super simple. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, please leave a like, subscribe, comment. If you guys have more suggestions of what I should do, join the Discord below. I make posts every week about what I should be uploading and what you guys want. And have a great day.